Hello, this is the TCH 208 Literature and Multimedia text log, and I'm going to describe the assignment to you. Once you've opened up the Assignments tab, click on the Children's Literature and Multimedia text set assignment. And you can see there are 3 documents in here. First is the assignment description and rubric. The second is an example. And the third is the sheet where you found the link to this video. So if you'll click on the first link, you can see a purpose is given for you to create this assignment. I want to look at the second paragraph and talk about it specifically. You're going to be seeking out 30 items under a specific theme that you choose for this text log. You can have the theme okayed by me. You're going to focus on grade levels from 1 through 6. You're going to also be representing different genres, and I'd like to see a variation of at least 3 different genres. You're going to have several modes, meaning books, recordings, artwork, podcasts, etc. Of those 30 items, 20 of them are going to be picture books. One of them is going to be a novel, which counts for 5 picture books, and that excludes a graphic novel. And then the other 5 items are going to be other media. And we'll talk about that as we go down through the required columns in your Excel file. So you're going to create an Excel document. In that document, you're going to open up the first sheet, and you're going to title it with the name of your theme. And then in the columns, you're going to create a header row that has these as the titles for each of your columns. Author with last comma first names, the illustrator of the book last comma first, the title, the original publication date, the text mode, whether it's a book, a novel, and then here are your other media, a film, website, and so on. Then you're going to list the genre of the item. You're going to tell me then the next column the theme, and so therefore in that column it's all going to be the same word. So for example, if you choose family as a theme, in the 7th column every space will say family. The 8th column, you're going to list the grade or age level, and we're going to talk about in class how we level books and the imperfections of leveling books, but giving a range of a level for that particular item. Then the number 9 is going to be the ISBN number. That's only going to be applicable for your books. The 10th column, you're going to, for each item in your log, you're going to give a selected purpose for that particular item. Meaning, how would you as a teacher use it to teach a specific skill or strategy? So for example, it says it teaches, you can teach author's craft, you can teach punctuation with that book, critical analysis, prediction, inferencing. So you think about how you as the teacher would use that book and what skill or strategy you would use to teach from it. The 11th column is narrative annotation. You're just doing this for 10 texts. And the narrative annotation should be 2 to 5 sentences, and you're describing an overview of the item. The 12th column is going to be illustrations, where you're going to describe the actual illustrations in the text and how they connect to the text, any visual elements, how the media is produced, and again 2 to 3 sentences. also again for 10 texts. Now, these last 3 columns, because it's sometimes 2 to 5 sentences as it states, you might see that it gets lengthy, and then when you move out of that particular box, part of the words get covered up. Don't worry about it. I know that this happens, and I know how to open up the box to see all of the words. There are more specifics to the columns. If you look down here, read other requirements. For your novel, I would like for you to read a novel that is at least 100 pages or more. Again, not a graphic novel. And I'd like for you to indicate the font in red, so that way it stands out to me. In addition to that, if you are a bilingual major, 10 of your items of your texts need to be in Spanish or another language of your choosing, and you can have that okayed by me. If you are not a bilingual major, at least 3 of your texts need to be bilingual texts, and I'd like for you to indicate those in italics. Now, I am perfectly fine with you having a text that is in part Spanish and part English, or obviously if you don't read Spanish, you can read the English version, but then on Amazon find the information for the Spanish version of that picture book and list that in your columns. You're going to create that original sheet, the master spreadsheet, the first one that you are labeling with your theme, and I'd like for it to be sorted by author's last name. The second sheet, you're going to open that up and you're going to title it Other Media. And I'm going to read this bolded to you. Be sure to label both sheets with your file. Sheet 1 is a theme, sheet 2 is other media. But then when you name your overall Excel file, use your last name. And here's an example of what I'm talking about. Then you're going to attach the Excel file by the due date via the Google Drive. Here's the checklist by which I'm grading your text log. 30 items are included, 20 picture books, 5 other media, and 1 novel, for a total of 30 points. I'm going to be looking at all of the other columns and whether you also have the sorted sheet and a filtered sheet as well, for a total of 50. Minimum number of novels, which is 1, for 5 points, and then the 3 bilingual texts for 15 points, for a total of 100 points. Now I'm going to go back to the example. We're going to open that up. And I'm going to share with you how you can sort and filter. So what I'm going to need to do is download this so that I can manipulate it on my computer. And if I'm going to take a look down here, here's my first sheet that is Perseverance, that's the theme, and then Multimedia is the second sheet. So for the first sheet, you can see we have our header row here. This first sheet needs to be sorted. So you're going to click on the header row, and I'd like for it to be sorted by author's last name. So you can see that the author, the name is last name, comma, first name. So if I click on the author space, I can go up here to sort and filter, and I click on that, and I click on sort A to Z. Well, it's already sorted by author's last name, so I'm going to show you how it changes. So when I click sort Z to A, it puts them in alphabetical order from Z to A, but I want it from A to Z. Now, please don't highlight the entire column, because when you do, that will sort just this column, and it will rearrange these, but then not move anything else, and then all of your items don't match up across this way. So you're just clicking on this author column. So for the second sheet, you're going to do what's called filter. So you will actually highlight your entire log and copy it. And then you move to the next tab and you title it Multimedia, and then you would paste it. But for the purpose of my instruction here, I'm going to have to open up a new tab. So here I'm going to paste the entire log. And what I will do then is go over to the Sort and Filter tab, click on it, and I want to filter. So if I click on filter, you can see what happens is these little down arrows show up at the top of each column in your header row. And what I'd like for you to do is go to text mode, and you can see all of the different ways that you have labeled your text mode. So you're going to unselect all, and you're just going to choose the ones that are multimedia, so not the book options. If I click OK, what you can see here then is the only thing that's left on the log are the multimedia options, like the movie, the TV show. Now the novel still shows up for some reason, so I want to get rid of that. But your multimedia items then will show up. You'll go over to your file, you'll click Save, and then you have your two sheets, one that's the original, your entire log, and then one that's multimedia. You can see this person had done it, and I've saved it. Please leave your arrows up here, that way I know that you have used the Excel program to do your true filter. Once you are done with this, you're going to save as, and then you're going to give, you can see this says literature log or literacy log example. You're going to actually name that with your last name. All right, that is all of the example for the lit log. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to ask in class.